I'd be lying if I said this wasn't algorithm bait. I mean, as far as Pokemon content goes, explaining why something is the best in a certain category of something is kind of a sure thing. And I've been wondering this myself anyways, so moves. There are a lot of them, and they do a lot of silly things, like mutually assured destruction, serve you sushi, and of course, nothing. The argument can be made that a Pokemon is only as good as its best move. I mean, I wouldn't use Mega Rayquaza if it had Cosmoem's Learn Set, and I'd be hard-pressed not to use Cosmoem on a stall team if it had Recover and Toxic. But if moves make the Pokemon, what moves make the best Pokemon? Or what are the best moves that make a Pokemon? Or I don't know. Dude, I've made like 100 videos at this point. It's hard to make introductions, not all sound the same. We're gonna figure out what the best move of each type in Pokemon is. If you enjoyed this video at any point in time, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. As a matter of fact, you should really just subscribe right now because I have a playlist full of content just like this that you can watch once this video ends. And if you think you're subscribed, do me a favor and double check because a lot of my viewers actually aren't. With that, let's get into the video. But first, GamerSupps ad. This channel is partnered with GamerSupps. If you want to support my work and get great tasting drinks, you can order GamerSupps through my link in the description down below or with code Moxie boosted at checkout for 10% off. GamerSupps is a caffeinated product that I recommend only to my 18+ viewers, but my link will send you to their caffeine-free product section just in case. Every product purchased through my link supports my channel financially, so I'd really appreciate the support. Now back to the video. Okay, so there are 18 types total, 20 if you include Stellar and... But the answer of what the best move of both those types are is Stellar Starstorm and Curse, because they're literally the only two options. But as far as the other types are concerned, there's much to discuss. I could go with the damaging move, but as strong as some attacks are, there are some really busted status moves that absolutely carry Pokemon. Bear in mind, I'm thinking about all these moves in a vacuum, so let's say hypothetically I said that Comeuppance was the best dark move. I wouldn't take into account the fact that the move is tied to a bunch of mid and low tier Pokemon. I'm thinking about the move as a concept. Like in a perfect world where you could give it to any Pokemon, is this move the best among everything else in the type? So just keep that in mind before you comment, or don't. I love arguing with people on the internet. Okay, first off, normal moves. This one was definitely the hardest to choose since I'm pretty sure there's more normal moves in Pokemon than there are people in Nebraska. Like, between the monstrous power of Boom Burst, the priority of extreme speed, and the utility of Fake Out, how am I supposed to— It's Protect. It's obviously Protect, like it's not even close. And that's gonna ruffle some feathers with people in the comments who have never done any online battles, but believe me, this is not only the best normal move, but the best single move in Pokemon. Protect might not be used as often in singles, but in the official format of VGC, which are double battles, negating all incoming damage for a turn is invaluable. Protecting can be used to stall out a turn of poison, or perish song turns, recover health with leftovers, position for a Fake Out Pokemon to get on the field next to the user, and so much more. Genuinely, it's hard to find a single VGC team that's done well at a high level without at least one Protect user. It may not be as obviously strong as attacking moves like Unga Bunga Blood Moon, but the value that comes from stopping damage, even for a single turn, is undeniable. Unless, of course, you're fighting Urshifu, then, of course, this all goes out the window. Okay, water types. I mean, this type has some real notoriously great moves. Vicious Wren not only invents a new adjective, but it has the busted effect of doubling its 85 base power to 170 if the user moves before the target. Along with that, it's a biting move, so it stacks with the ability Strong Jaw's 1.5 boost to the whole category of moves. But even a fundamentally broken move like this isn't quite strong enough to be the best water move when Scald is in the conversation. Scald is a massively powerful move, with it being a solid 80 base power and having a 30% chance to burn, a staple of any team and the preferred water move on any special attacker. Burn is a very powerful status, with it not only being able to do chip damage to negate leftovers every turn, but it halves the power of all physical attacks from the burn Pokemon. The move, which was introduced in Generation 5, made its way onto the learn sets of virtually every water type that wasn't part ice, and it was practically a rule that if a water type was a special attacker, it would run Scald as its main move. I mean, it's just way too reliable and provides so much value. Hydro Pump may have significantly higher power, but its shaky accuracy makes it far more risky. Just take a look at Iron Fumble, the king of missing attacks. I think a true testament to its power isn't even its long history in the competitive scene, but the fact that in Generation 9, Game Freak removed this move from virtually every Pokemon's learn set, with only a few select ones keeping access to it. The only water types with this move are now Alola-Mola, Gyarados, Inteleon, Kingdra, Lantern, Milotic, Slowbro, Slowking, and Vaporeon. And among them, the only ones that could reliably run it are Alola-Mola, Kingdra, Milotic, and Vaporeon. It was a necessary nerf to the water type, as otherwise water types would really just run the move almost 100% of the time. Also, Iron Bundle would shoot 3-pointers, nothing but net. Fire moves have a similar reputation for the power they have behind them. 252 special attack, Modest Choice Specs, Chi-Yu, Overheating, all that, I don't know. But for my money, the real competition here is between Eruption and Sacred Fire. Where Eruption has a ton of immediate power that can be boosted by Sun, it's sort of a move where you either win turn 1 or lose turn 3. Real easy to nerf, even though it's got a lot going for it right out the gate, since its power decreases with the user's HP. If you want a real workhorse of a fire move, you want Sacred Fire. While this move is exclusive to just 2 Pokemon in Ho-Oh and Entei, it's easy to see why this is the case. Sacred Fire is a 100 base power physical fire move with a 50% chance to burn. Its only true drawback is its 95 accuracy, which, while nerve-wracking in endgame situations, is actually pretty reasonable considering the sheer value the move provides. Here's a good way to look at it. As I stated in the water move section, Burn is actually really powerful. So powerful that Will-O-Wisp, the status move which only inflicts burn, is 85 accuracy to keep it from being way too good. Sacred Fire deals significant damage to the target while introducing a coin flip to burn them on top of it. Bring a physical attacker to the Ho-Oh 1v1 and tell me how that goes for you. I mean, rock type speed it, but besides that, this move not only provides value to the user, but every Pokemon on the team, since they'll be taking less damage from burned physical attackers. It really isn't a competition. This one move is just cut and dry the best fire move in the game, which Game Freak has just announced they'd be giving to Incineroar in Generation 10 to make sure it'd be balanced. Grass moves. Now, these moves aren't actually known for their power or anything like that. As a matter of fact, when I think of grass moves, the first one that comes to mind is always going to be Spore. Once again, it's not really close. If any Pokemon could gain access to any grass move, they would almost always pick Spore, unless they already have Spore, in which case they don't need it. If Chien-Pao got Spore, it would use it. If Incineroar got Spore, it would use it. If Gengar got Spore, it would use it. Sleep is one of the most frustrating statuses to deal with, since once a Pokemon goes to sleep, it's guaranteed to be asleep for 1 turn, then it becomes RNG to wake up until after its 3rd turn of sleep, when it can finally have a guaranteed wake up. Amoonguss would see almost no usage if it wasn't able to put things to sleep the way it can. I don't care how fat it is, or that it can redirect moves, that thing is getting carried by Spore. Also Pollen Puff, but we'll get back to that one later. Yes, Spore can be blocked by Safety Goggles and Terra Grass, but the fact that this move is strong enough to necessitate an answer to it on every single team should be evidence enough of it being the best grass move. Electric moves. The secret 4th starter type. Well, 5th. Eevee's a starter too if normal counts. You ever think about that? You know how, like, you can actually count Psychic and Dark too, since you start with Umbreon and Espeon in Coliseum, but that's besides the point. Electric moves are really strong, especially if you aim for the horn, apparently. I mean, it's an inherently strong type since it hits most things for neutral and is one of Water type's 2 weaknesses. There's only a few options here. I mean, Wild Bolt, Storm, and Thunder may not be able to miss in rain alongside their naturally high damage output, so there's certainly contenders for the pick, but I'm gonna have to give it to Vicious Wren's less cool brother, Bolt Beak. This move is an 85 base power physical attack, which doubles if the user moves before the target. While it's currently exclusive to the fossil Pokemon Arctozolt and Dracozolt, it's difficult to find a single Pokemon which wouldn't run the move. I mean, even among amazing special attackers, access to such a powerful physical move would be invaluable, and I'm a strong advocate for Zapdos to get access to it. I mean, even if you max out Zapdos' special attack stat, if it's running a nature that doesn't decrease the attack stat, Bolt Beak is still going to be doing more damage if it moves first than Thunderbolt, even uninvested. That's kind of crazy, right? I mean, slower electric types would still love this move, as Trick Room can just be set up to make them move first. Easy money. Imagine trying to switch in on Bolt Beak Pincurchin. Alright, dragon moves. There's a lot of solid ones. Draco Meteor provides excellent burst damage at the expense of your special attack stat. Dragon Energy is just Dragon type Water Spout, and Dragon Dance is one of the best setup moves in the game. But for my money, the best dragon move has to be Dragon Darts. Dragon Darts is such a reliable move. If you want your physical dragon move to exceed 80 base power, you have to go with something far less reliable, like Outrage, which has huge power at the expense of being able to choose your target and move for the next 3 turns, or Dragon Rush, which has a measly 75 accuracy for just 100 power. Dragon Darts, on the other hand, is 50 base power but hits twice, making it 100 altogether. This move will sometimes even play the game for you. Dragon Darts will hit each opponent once unless one of them is immune, protects, or even if the move somehow misses. In all of these cases, the other dart will redirect into the vulnerable target, making them take the full damage instead of it being wasted into the immune opponent. If it weren't just on Dragapult, basically every dragon type would run this move. Fairy types have been a bit overtuned since they were introduced to the games, probably because they were meant to beat the overpowered dragons that had previously existed, but where dragons have one of the best damaging moves in the game, fairy types have one of the most busted setup moves. Geomancy is the exclusive move of the legendary Pokemon Xerneas. It's a move which takes 2 turns to activate, but once it does, the user gains +2 special attack, special defense, and speed. While it could be argued that because it takes 2 turns to charge anyways, Quiver Dance is just an objectively better version of the move, because Power Herb allows for the move to skip its charge turn, the immediate boost causes the user to become almost unstoppable, making it much better than Quiver Dance. Don't believe me? Look up Xerneas tournament gameplay from 2016. If it weren't for Primal Groudon, that Pokemon would annihilate everything. Fake Out plus Geomancy. Good game, shake my hand. Now, when it comes to steel types, the answer's pretty clear. This move is so powerful, Game Freak decided to give it to a single Pokemon whose attack stat is a puny 75, because they knew better than to give this powerful move to a Pokemon with a good offensive stat. Then they made a normal type clone of this move and gave it to Ursaluna. Gigaton Hammer is a 160 base power physical steel move, which deals massive damage to the opponent, but can't be used twice in a row. For reference, this move is stronger than moves that require a recharge turn, like Blast Burn or Hyper Beam. Tinkaton is already capable of picking up absurd damage with this move despite its low attack stat, so if it were given to any other Pokemon, the sky's the limit as to just how busted they could be. Let's say some employee at Game Freak has a real bad day at work and says, you know what, I'm just straight up not having a good time anymore, and I don't think anyone else deserves to. Then they give Gigaton Hammer to Zacian. Well, here's what we'd be dealing with. Wait, what do you mean it one-shots Ursaluna? Look, when it comes to Blood Moon, there's a direct relationship with how often you click the move and how often you win. Literally, neutral Terra Blood Moon does more damage than super effective Earth Power. It's just a free KO in a lot of situations. Now imagine if Steel types had access to a move like that. Gigaton Hammer King Gambit would be the end of us all. Alright, I'm starting to scare myself with the thought of steel types being even more busted than they are right now in competition, so let's doomsday prep and figure out what the best fighting type move is to deal with that. And I had a decent amount of moves to dig through here. Close Combat, Aura Sphere, Drain Punch, they're all very solid moves. But if there's one thing that Focus Blast taught me, it's that consistency is more valuable than anything in this game. If you ask me, the most consistent fighting type move has to be Sacred Sword. With 100 accuracy and 90 base power, you get a solid amount of damage for a move that will never miss. Not only does this move have super reliable accuracy, it will ignore the opponent's stat boosts. This includes any defense boost they may have, but also evasion, meaning that it'll only miss if the user has decreased accuracy itself. It's some of the best counterplay in the game to annoying strategies that evasion boost like Muk Smeargle or Guard Split Chansey, and it's even solid damage in a Pokemon like Dondozo since those defense boosts don't matter at all. The move just gets better now with the ability Sharpness having been introduced to the game, since it boosts the power of this move by 50%, causing it to be a more powerful close combat at 135 base power. It really just doesn't get better than this as far as fighting type moves go. You know, despite Bug being definitely the single worst type in the game, it does have the move with the most insane roll compression I've ever seen. Pollen Puff is not only a 90 base power special bug move, meaning it would absolutely chunk any Pokemon hit by it if the users had something resembling a good special attack stat, but it also heals your partner Pokemon if you target them. Okay, I don't think anyone ever asked for an offensive bug heal pulse, but go off, I guess. Unfortunately, this move is very rarely used offensively since the best users of it happen to not be bug types, and not great special attackers. For example, Amoonguss. This Pokemon has recently stopped running stab moves altogether in many cases since it can just very reliably use Pollen Puff as a move to chip away at opponents' health, while also being able to heal up a partner for 50% of their health instantly. I mean, this move can't even be taunted since it's an attack. It just is the best bug move hands down and in contention for the best move in the game. If it were any other type, it would be absolutely broken. Imagine a fire move that did this. There's really no shortage of good flying moves unless your name's Gyarados, in which case file a complaint with Game Freak, because what do you mean you have to click bounce? Why can't Gyarados or Landorus get good flying moves, like Dragon Ascent, which is actually a flying move, and not a dragon move? Weird. This is the signature move of Rayquaza, which is basically just flying type close combat. Surely an offensively bulky flying type with access to Intimidate couldn't be too strong with 120 base power move that can level a city block, right? Okay, maybe we don't give this to Gyarados or Landorus. That'd be pretty broken, but surely it's not a problem that rocks can't fix, right? Rock types have tons of powerful moves, but my top three have to be Rock Slide, the notorious spread move that can flinch opponents, Meteor Beam, the silly goofy power herb move that Glamora likes to click, and at number 1, Diamond Storm. Yeah, I bet you forgot about this one, didn't you? Diamond Storm is the signature move of Diancie. It's a 100 base power physical rock move which hits both opponents and has a 50% chance to boost the user's defense stat by 2 stages. Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking when they made a spread 100 base power rock move that is also sometimes iron defense. Look, it's fine because it was solely tied to Diancie, a Pokemon with just 100 attack, but it can get out of hand real quick if we gave it to something like, oh, I don't know, Tyranitar. If I'm being real though, I kind of hope they give it to Gigalith. I just think he's kind of cute, and his shiny looks like it has diamonds on it. Please consider this, James Freak. Oh, singles players, I know you're commenting about Stealth Rocks right now, but I don't care. Poison's best move is Dire Claw, and it's not close. Who at Game Freak decided that Dirty Needle Poison Jab should be a thing? It's got a 50% chance to status you at all, and then at that point it becomes a lottery as to if you get poisoned, slept, or paralyzed. That's just absurd. It's decided entire tournament runs. It's broken. I hate this move. What do you mean Amoonguss went to sleep? What do you mean Landorus is paralyzed? I'm just done dealing with it. Look, if you want to beat Sneasler, you need to get a ground type. And the best ground move for my money is by far 1,000 Arrows. Yeah, Earthquake's the GOAT, and Fissure is kind of an FU button by one-shotting things once in a while, but the fact that this move not only hits flying targets, but is a spread move with solid power behind it and knocks them down to be hit by subsequent ground moves makes it very clearly the best ground move in the game, and tying it solely to Zygarde was probably a good idea. Dark is Wicked Blow for sure. It's exclusive to Urshifu for a reason. 75 base power with 100 accuracy and always critting is crazy reliable for any move, especially a physical move, which would normally have to deal with Intimidate drops. Always critting means that it's able to bypass any defense boosts and reflects that were set up. The only way to cut the damage from this move is by burning the user or being named Wo Chen, in which case you have to worry about the close combat next turn. I'm sorry, dude. All right, the best Ghost and Ice moves are, of course, property of Calyrex, probably the single most broken Pokemon. Sorry, no, the two most broken Pokemon in the game. Look, 130 base power with perfect accuracy in hitting both opponents. At that point, you don't even need a secondary effect for these moves to be busted, especially when they're Ghost and Ice moves, because Ghost and Ice are the two greatest offensive typings in the game besides maybe Rock. I've talked about these moves extensively in other videos, so there's not really a reason to linger here. And finally, my controversial take for the best Psychic move is that it's Trick Room. No offensive move, not even Expanding Force, could be nearly as strong as a move which makes the speed tiers of the game inverted for 5 whole turns. The way this move enables entire archetypes can't be overstated. This move is the reason teams are able to reliably use Pokemon like Ursaluna, Torkoal, Indeedee, Hatterene, and the list goes on. If you can think of a slow Pokemon with a really high attack stat, or even a mediumly fast Pokemon with a really good attack stat, it's gonna be solid on Trick Room. Trust me. Most of you probably hate facing Trick Room matchups, and some of my closest friends who are Trick Room players have admitted to being hard carried by the archetype, which wouldn't exist if not for this move. So yeah, Trick Room, busted, best Psychic move hands down. But those are just my takes on what the most powerful moves of each types are. What do you think? Am I missing anything super obvious? I guess I could have gone with Tailwind for flying, but I think Dragon Ascent is just a little bit more reliable if Pokemon had access to it. Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It'd mean the world to me. If you want to support me further, you can check out my Patreon page or become a YouTube channel member by clicking the join button below the video. This gets you sneak peeks at future videos and even some bonus content. You also see your name at the end of the video like all these people. Special thanks to my most boosted supporters, Ant Media UK, Avatar67, and Kayla Thompson for the generous pledges. Another way to support me is by checking out all the videos in the playlist on screen right now. I know you'll find something in there that you'll enjoy. I also have a second channel where I talk about the current VGC metagame trends and a Twitch channel where I stream, both of which are in the description. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.